Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your host, William Moore, Crime Celebrities.
Yeah. I'm William Moore, and this is Crime Celebrity. We changed the name. Today's the Dead Body episode.
I'm Rob.
This is Robert Baker.
Thank you.
We've been friends since the third grade. It's true.
It is.
It's totally true. It's like my little brother. And so, Robert, we're focusing on platinum recording artists.
Sweet.
And dead bodies. Let me tell you a little bit
about
how it's evolved.
It sounds a little morbid, though, right?
Well, clearly. Totally. It is morbid.
Okay.
There's a recording artist
Let's go with it.
that we used to listen to whose body was dug up by fans, supposedly. There's one major recording artist from way long time ago whose body was stolen by his road manager and burned out of the Joshua Tree. And then we have a world-famous icon that woke up next to a dead body.
Okay, I don't know the first and the second one, but I think I know the third, though.
Oh, I bet you do. It's a little tricky the way that I worded it. But, we'll get to that. First, we'll talk about whose body was dug up. Van Zandt from Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, my God.
Dug up supposedly by fans and band members. Their graves were broken into. They had above-ground sarcophagus. And apparently, the rumor was that Van Zandt, lead singer, was to be buried in a Neil Young t-shirt because, there's that whole feud going on between Lynyrd Skynyrd, Van Zandt, and Neil Young. Neil Young had some lyric and some song that seemed to criticize or group together the whole Southern lifestyle and it being racist and of course, Van Zandt had a problem with that. And in Sweet Home Alabama, there's a famous line, I hope Neil Young can remember, a Southern man don't need him around anymore. But apparently he was to be buried in a Neil Young t-shirt because he was going to take the feud to his grave. I kind of see that as a tribute to Neil Young, but that was the thought. And it was thought that the Vandals broke in to see if he was buried in a Neil Young t-shirt.
So was he?
Well, but they never caught the Vandals.
You can't leave us hanging on that.
I'm going to leave you hanging. That's why it's the first one. I can tell you that if the Vandals were caught, they'd be under the law as it is now. And I believe it was then. This wasn't so long ago, at least in Florida. Florida criminal law is such that if you deface a monument, certainly break into it, that's a third-degree felony, punishable by 5 years in prison, up to. And, of course, manipulating the remains, whether they're ashes or bones or a mummified body, that would be a second-degree felony, so they'd be looking at a couple of counts here. But they never caught him. And the only word that we have is from Van Zandt's wife that, no, he wasn't buried in a Neil Young t-shirt, he was buried in a flannel.
Yeah.
But he was a Southern rock.
Dude, I don't want to be. Just in case anyone applies here, I don't want to be buried in flannel for sure.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a flannel.
Way too Southern for me.
Right.
I mean, I'm just
good
saying,
band though.
I'm just saying, you know what?
Great band. I thought they were great, even though it wasn't my genre of music.
Here in South Florida, there's a radio station that plays that band way too much.
What station?
I forgot.
I'm listening to the same songs over and over again on Sirius. Yeah. Because they play the same songs over and over again.
I don't pay for Sirius, so I listen to radio.
I think it came with the car.
And I listen to all the commercials. And we listen to, a lot of us in South Florida, we listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd way too much.
Are they playing Sweet Home Alabama mostly? Or is it Tuesdays Gone?
Oh, God.
Ding, 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 ding.
No. I mean, there's so much music in the world. We don't have to listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd all the time. I mean, it's kind of weird that I bring that up in the context of him, like, being dead and all that stuff, but...
Yeah, he's dead.
I mean, yeah.
Plane crash.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy,
right?
Huh?
And the drummer, Artemis Pyle,
oh my God,
lived. His sons formed a band, the Fenwicks. They used to play in St. Augustine.
No way.
A lot. Yeah.
I read some of the accounts about that plane crash, and oh my God, it's horrid.
I read some account that was totally backwards.
The whole band was on that plane, as was stewardesses who were all like bleeding to death everywhere, and this band is all like
Crash in the Everglades or something?
Yeah, it was I don't know if it was in the Everglades, but my God, really, I'm so sorry that any of them went through that.
Right. Musicians and plane crashes. What about Travis Barker and
Oh
DJ
my
AM?
God.
They survived that plane crash. I
You
saw
know what?
footage of that. It came out burning. Yeah, I saw the burns on them. It's far worse than
You're kidding.
you could imagine just hearing it through, however, through the media. I watched this documentary on DJ AM. They were messed up.
Yeah.
And they had video footage of that plane just disintegrated across some highway, burning. It's amazing that they managed to walk out or run out or whatever they did.
That is absolutely amazing. My heart goes out to Travis and all those guys.
And DJ AM.
It's like but this whole Travis Barker thing, like the guy's a rock star. Like he's a massive
drummer.
Rock star,
Massive.
Amazing drummer. I'm a drummer, so like
You're an amazing drummer.
well, thank you.
You are.
I wasn't trying to get that out of it.
We would have had more fun if you were in Blink 182.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like the reason why that whole that set of circumstances is so intriguing to me is because here's this guy Travis Barker. He's a rock star already, and he's huge. Blink 182, massive. Guy's an amazing drummer, and then he almost dies, and he lives because he jumps out of a burning plane. I mean, like how much more like
how many people
badass can you?
Seriously, how many people do you know that have survived a car accident? Everyone. How many people do you know that have survived a plane crash?
None.
Right. Well, you don't know Travis Barker? You know so many.
Oh yeah,
musicians.
we go way back. Me and
Is
Travis.
that true?
Yeah. No, totally. Oh, we jammed together and everything.
Okay, so there used to be this guy, Parsons. What is his name? We're actually looking at my notes here, right? Because this is the one artist that I know the least about. He was in the Flying Burrito Brothers, Graham Parsons. He may have even been in the Byrds or whatnot. But he, one night, got drunk with his road manager, and they both agreed that whoever survived the other upon the deceased death, whichever one it would be, they agreed that the other would take their body and drive it out to the Joshua Tree, which is, I guess, somewhere, maybe Arizona or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's Cali,
and burn the body. And the road manager...
Wait. Joshua Tree is like supposed to be like the most peaceful, tranquil place, like where like it's kind of like a hippie kind of.
It's a good place for a Flying Burrito Brother to be.
It's absolutely beautiful, but somehow it just doesn't seem fitting that somebody be burning a corpse there.
I just think of you two anytime I hear that Joshua Tree. I'm like, here we go, you two.
Well, it's one of the most tranquil, beautiful places in the world, supposedly.
Well, Graham Parsons' body was stolen, driven there, and burned.
Like, for real?
By a civilian, by his road manager. Yeah, and the road manager was really methodical about the way he got his hands on the body, because he knew that Graham Parsons' body was being flown to, I believe, California to be signed for by the father, and then, of course, turned over to the coroner or whoever, the funeral home or whoever's going to put him in the ground. He borrows a hearse, drives there, dresses up, and signs for the body as if he's from the funeral home, drives it off.
Wow.
Father gets there and he's like, oh, well, it was signed for.
Dude,
what?
All of a sudden I thought, like, I hope nobody steals my body and does something weird with it like
It's
that.
probably unlikely. It's probably not going to be stolen. I won't let that happen to you.
Okay.
But you're going to outlive me. Right? So, so the thing is that the tour manager ultimately signed for it, drove it out there, poured gasoline on Graham Parsons' body, lit it on fire. He said it was beautiful. The ashes went up into the air, and then he was later charged. But at the time, there weren't many laws in place. Now there's, at least in Florida, tons of laws in place with regard to manipulating, owning,
stealing dead rock stars' bodies.
There's nothing really on point, at least in Florida. There's nothing that speaks directly towards stealing a dead body. It's just possessing one.
And there's
right?
there's no laws about stealing rock stars' bodies. Dead rock
Well,
stars.
whether you're a rock star or not, there's not really a monetary value. So I think that's why it doesn't really fall under our grand thefts. But backing up, going back to the Van Zandt issue, there you've got destroying the monuments, manipulating the bodies, third-degree felony, and a second-degree felony. Here, the tour manager, road manager, whatever he was only charged with grand theft for the theft of the coffin. And later in an interview, he said he would have taken his buddy's body out of the coffin and not stolen it. But he was charged with misdemeanor theft of the coffin, which Graham Parson must not have had an expensive coffin.
Never mind the fact that he stole a dead rock star's body.
I know, right?
We'll just ignore that part. That's just whatever. No big deal.
I knew there's issues with regard to sanitation and whatnot, but I don't think
speaking of like dead like famous people and all that fun stuff, is there anybody could we call anybody and maybe pick their brain a little? What do you think, Rai?
You know who I wanted to call, because this is the dead bodies episode, and you were gonna mention something about Natalie Wood. It was in some love triangle, and Chris was on a boat, and who was her husband?
Walken.
I know nothing about this, but I did have a question.
Robert Wagner was her husband.
Tell me about this. Tell me about this dead bodies issue.
When Chris, you know what? I mean, why don't we just try? Let's just try to call Christopher Walken. We have some celebrity numbers, don't we? Let's just try to call him, see if we can get him on the phone.
No, I know Christopher Walken's number. Ba-ring.
Hello.
Oh shit, he answered.
Hey, Chris.
Who is this?
Hey, it's Attorney William Moore.
It rings a bell. I know you from somewhere. You probably some kind of lawsuit I had back in the day.
I handle all your groupies' traffic tickets. What's up, Chris?
Nothing much. What can I help you with?
Did you kill Natalie Wood?
Whoa,
Wait a minute.
Oh my God!
Why did I
say that?
Hold on a
there?
second.
That was
the singer.
No. If anybody did, then it would have been Robert Wagner, because they were having some trouble with their marriage. I will say, Mr. Walken, there was some rumors flying around
that you were a person of interest, Chris.
That you were that you were having an affair with his wife.
It was a long
What
time
happened
ago.
there?
It was
How did all of you end up on the same boat to begin with?
Well,
Whose idea of a good time was that, and who bought her the coat?
I bought her the coat.
Wait. The audience doesn't know anything about the coat. Okay. The case was essentially dismissed as an accident, and one of the biggest factors
I'll
was.
tell you, I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but Wagner, he was kind of jealous of me and his girl.
Did you learn that on the boat?
I had an idea of what was happening, and he didn't like it, and I had a thing for her, So I don't mean to throw him under the bus. It was a long time ago, but
What about over the boat?
Well, her body was found in the water, a big coat that I bought her, for doing a little.
They say it weighted her down. That was one of the biggest factors.
Did you just say for doing a little something? Chris, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah,
you really cleared things up.
Mr. Walken,
no problem.
you might want to, not trying.
Hey,
No,
I'm just
you're
being
amazing.
honest,
You're amazing,
yeah,
Chris.
being honest.
Until next time, and I look forward to
good talking with you,
nice.
Mr.
Hey,
Moore.
we love your movies. You're great, Mr. Walken.
Thank you.
and
I appreciate it.
I wouldn't always answer the phone, but that's just
All right. I'll talk to you later. If you want to give me a call, I'd love to clear this up a little bit more.
He's a great guy. Was he in Goonies?
I can't believe he answered the phone. Christopher Walken in Goonies? No, I don't think he was.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? Apparently, there were scratches on the dinghy, and the reason that nobody was charged with this, or that nobody, the thought was that maybe nobody pushed her overboard, was because there were scratches on the dinghy, and she was wearing a big coat that became waterlogged. She'd still been pushed over.
Yeah, she. The biggest factor in the whole thing was that she was drunk. I mean, they were all pretty drunk. She was well over the limit, and the water there is very cold. This happened in Catalina.
It was drunk in Fort
1981.
Lauderdale. Nobody would ever be charged with murder. Right? Isn't everybody drunk in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, but being on the ocean and swimming drunk, more specifically, is a really, really bad idea.
In a coat that Chris bought for.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
that's a fine. How do you do?
Yeah, poor Natalie.
You can just see he's all here in his voice. He's all torn up about the fact that maybe it was the fact that he bought the coat for doing something that may have led to her death, along with some being pushed. But
just get right past that.
And getting past it, we'll talk about our third dead body. Well, our fourth, if you take into account.
Oh yeah, Natalie.
Right, Natalie. Poor Natalie. We'll talk about Nancy
all of them.
because Sid Vicious woke up next to a dead body. It was Nancy, his Nancy, and he was charged with murder because he woke up. She's dead.
God save the queen. God.
I remember. And I used to like the Sex Pistols back when we were in high school and middle school, I think it was.
That song's awesome. The Pistols.
I am an anarchist. Yeah.
Yeah. Sid Vicious was one tough-looking dude on stage.
Apparently he was a very docile guy, but who knows? That was his defense. Apparently the lawyer said that he was going to get away with this for sure. You know, he's the only one there with her. They were doing a bunch of drugs. She gets stabbed in the stomach. He doesn't remember anything. And
it's awful.
Before the case could be concluded, of course, Mom buys Sid heroin that was really pure.
Wait.
Mom.
You did say Mom buys him the heroin, right?
Mom.
You did say that?
Sid's mom bought him the heroin. And he had been in jail awaiting trial.
That's
was
awful.
Released pending trial. Says, Mom, get me some heroin. She scores some really good stuff for him. His lack of tolerance.
That's a bad mom.
Well, I wouldn't call her an enabler. Well,
you wouldn't?
I would.
What do you mean you would?
I would. I would call her an enabler. She bought the heroin, right?
She definitely enabled a lot of all of that.
Right. Wouldn't that be tough if your kid was a rock star, right? I mean, I'm not saying that it would be tough when it comes to, hey, Dad, Mom, buy me some heroin. But a lot of other things you'd probably put up with, I
mean, all these rock stars that have their, personal
Dad, I'm staying out late tonight. I don't care. All right.
I mean, how are you going to stop that? It's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to happen even if your kid's a rock star and he's 14 or 15, right?
I am glad that Dr. What's his name? Michael Jackson's personal doctor got, I think he got second-degree murder.
He's out.
Do you remember? Yeah, he's out. Thank God they put him away, dude.
I know,
that was so messed up.
Right? Didn't seem like he was just.
How long did he? He did serve though.
I think right. I have no idea. 5 years maybe. Manslaughter. He must have led to manslaughter. I really didn't follow that.
I think he was charged. He was charged with either second degree. I think it was manslaughter. But they definitely charged him. They found him guilty.
There's I followed so many criminal cases that had to do with Michael as the defendant that by the time it came to ancillary defendants involved in his life, I just really didn't follow it that closely. But I knew that doctor was going to be hung. But I was surprised that he only got the sentence that he did. But who knows?
At the time of his death, the web activity was off the chart. It was 15% of everything that was going on Twitter was all Michael Jackson.
I'm sure, right? He's got
the
biggest fan base of any pop star ever.
And his funeral, if I remember correctly, his televised funeral was viewed by something like 31 million people. And the only other funerals that were watched more than Michael Jackson's was Ronald Reagan's
and James Brown when he toured the nation.
No, Ronald Reagan's and also Princess Diana.
Right, when Princess Diana died at the same time as Mother Teresa, and I don't even think that people even realize that Mother Teresa died because she got no press, she got no coverage.
Yeah,
weird, right?
Well, she wasn't a rock star, and
but she was in the
world
clergy,
of the religious,
in the clergy, right?
They were like,
she was a rock star. I mean, it's Lady
I totally
Diana,
do.
a rock star. I mean, Elton John even changed. Elton John didn't even write his own like brand
Elton
brand
John's
new
still
song.
alive though.
No, but he wrote it. He like changed a couple words in a song,
Oh yeah,
and then resold
Elton John,
it with a couple of words changed.
you know what's interesting about Elton John is, as talented as he is, he gives most of the credit to a lot of his work to his producers, and he basically has said that that he couldn't have done it without him, kind of thing, and they were like instrumental in like organizing the music and I guess writing some of the hooks and that kind of thing.
I don't know if you can believe this, but we are out of time.
No.
But listen, everybody, and anybody, if anybody listened, then hey, thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. We're out.
Peace.